actually coming up to National Phobia Week, which in itself gives some people the willies, but not as much as Rosie here, lovely little thing, gives Nia over there. Morning, Nia. Morning, yes, it's all right. That's about as close as Nia can get to the tarantula, but we will be offering hope to Britain's 4 million phobics by showing how you can crack any phobia inside 45 minutes, honestly, and she'll be stroking Rosie's short, fat, hairy legs by the end of the programme. Nia Bragg here has been frightened of spiders since she was almost as small as Rosie the tarantula over there. So the mere suggestion that in 45 minutes from now, we're talking at about 11:45, just gone, she'll be stroking Rosie's furry back is of course preposterous, but true, according to Stress Manager Chris Cardell. Hi, Chris.
Hello, Frank.
We've done this before on this show with other people, and it has worked.
Well,
right?
fingers crossed anyway.
Do you remember what it was that happened that made you be frightened of spiders in the first place?
Well, the first sort of memory that I have is I was born in Australia, and I was in my bed, and I was about, I don't know, 6 or 7 or something, and a nest hatched.
A nest
actually hatched, and one wall was absolutely covered in foul, tiny spiders.
Plus Big Mama.
Well, I don't know, I was sort of screaming, and I couldn't go in there until sort of my dad had sorted it out.
In Australia, most of them are,
I would have thought so. So I was sort of, and that's
it really, as far as you're concerned. Even pitchy spiders, little ones?
Yeah, house spiders, you know, I just can't handle it at all.
So you're watching Morse or something on the telly, and you get that, in the autumn, you get that kind of thing in the corner of your eye, don't you? You look across, and there's one of these big ones coming over the carpet.
Absolutely.
What happens?
It's just, I freeze, basically. I'm just like, you know, shiver, cold, and just like, get rid of it. I can't move. And
Chris, you're, as well as being a stress manager, you're something called a neuro-linguist?
Yeah, I'm a trainer in a field called neuro-linguistics, or NLP.
Which is to do with the language of the brain, literally.
Really, yeah. It's one of the new sciences that's emerged out of America on how our minds work, on how we think. And we now know a great deal more than we used to about how we create the feelings that we get. In the case of a phobia isn't a thing that we have, although it obviously feels like it. It's a process that we're doing unconsciously that gives us the fear. So if we can understand how that process is being created, we can then change it, usually fairly rapidly.
Are you going to use hypnosis on there? Because that's how we've cured phobics before.
No, I won't be. Hypnosis is another alternative and is very effective. Some people are slightly hesitant about that. But even an effective hypnotherapist will be using a lot of the tools that we might be touching on to effectively retrain the brain to realise that actually spiders are okay.
I do think, I mean, I'm guilty of this because, as I've said a million times before, I hate birds. Birds inside, flapping around. But I actually think it's a bit of a self-indulgence. I know, I'm sure that if I actually took myself in hand, gave myself a talking to and said, you are being absolutely ridiculously stupid here, I would be able to touch one. Is that something that...
You have two minds, believe it or not, a conscious mind and a kind of subconscious, unconscious mind. Yeah. And it's the subconscious mind that does the work and has learned to do this for whatever reason. Consciously, your conscious mind thinks it's crazy. It's really a matter of bringing them together and getting that part of you to understand that birds are okay.
So what's the first step with Nia then? Because you reckon that by the end of the programme, which is in roughly 45 minutes, and actually it's more than that, isn't it? Yeah. More like an hour and 10 minutes, you will have her cured.
We should certainly have her feeling a lot better about spiders. The first step is to find out how she's creating this phobic response, because the cause of the phobia isn't the spider. It's obviously the trigger, but if the cause was the spider, then we'd all be feeling the same thing. The actual cause is what Nia's doing inside the pictures. You see, we think through the pictures we have and the internal dialogue we use.
You use a lot of body language, don't you? Is that just you, or is that part of the training?
I'm just passionate about this, partly because, as Richard said, there are almost 4 million people in this country whose lives are blighted by something that can be changed relatively easily, and it's also not painful to change either.
And in that, there are people who are agoraphobic and won't leave their houses, and it really does...
There are people, I think fear is one of the biggest things that holds all of us back.
Okay, well, we'll leave it to it then, and we're going to...
Fingers crossed.
We're going to be seeing you at the end of the programme, and let's hope it works for you.
It's National Phobias Week coming up, which makes a lot of people feel quite uneasy. And earlier, Chris Cardell promised that he could bring together Rosie the tarantula and Nia Bragg here, who is really scared stiff of spiders, or was. Now, you said you could do it in 45 minutes. You've had just over an hour, in fact. How are you feeling, Nia, about spiders generally?
Well, amazed, actually. I'm really, really shocked.
Because you developed a genuine phobia in Australia when you were saying earlier there were spiders, a nest of spiders in your room. You woke up in one morning, they hatched out overnight. And ever since then, it's been heebie-jeebie time.
Absolutely.
Well, there's Rosie.
Yes,
Rosie.
indeed.
So how do you feel about...
Fine, actually.
She's actually really soft and gentle.
Yeah, she's great.
So that's you.
But she's sweet. She's really soft
And you didn't even jump when Rosie jumped. That's incredible.
Rosie jumped.
Slightly there.
I think Rosie's got a phobia of heights, isn't it? Is the owner here?
Can we have the animal handler?
I think Rosie's getting far too active for my liking.
You've done it. You've done it.
The only person who's calm is...
Round of applause. Well, as you said, we'll get millions of calls.
We were going to get loads of phone calls. You have to tell us how you did it. What was actually... Just take us through the steps you used. What did you actually say to me?
Okay, there's two parts to it, really. To have a strong phobic response like that, you have to, somewhere in there, be running kind of horrible pictures of the worst-case scenario. The thing is, it's going on kind of automatic pilot where you're not aware of it. So, first of all, we found out the movies that she was running, if you like, and we did some very simple processes to change them, to kind of scramble the pattern on the records playing inside Mia's mind. We then, once the intense fear had subsided, we got Mia to associate some of the good, strong, positive, confident feelings she feels in other situations, like her work and her career, and literally attach them to the spider. The biggest challenge is, as you said, is letting people believe that you can change that quickly. But the way the brain works, in a sense, you can only change quickly. You see, it only took her a couple of minutes to learn this phobia years and years and years ago. I think the message is really, if Mia can do that this quickly, there are many people out there with similar problems that you can change.
And you had no doubts, did you, before we started, that you'd crack it?
Well, my experience, because I work with people with phobias, with stress, depression, you name it, and my experience is that change does not have to take a long time, does not have to be painful, and certainly with phobias, we now know an awful lot more than we used to.
Well done.
Well done, and you, well done.
Yeah, well done.
To stay connected with the leading edge breakthroughs in advanced thinking technologies, be sure to subscribe and we'll make sure you get the latest videos as they happen and you don't miss out. So subscribe now. Also feel free to share this. There are probably 2 or 3 people at least in your life who would either really benefit from what you've just watched or would find it really, really interesting. And we're trying to spread the word. So just click share below and let them know, and it'll only take you a second, but you could actually be having a real impact on people's lives. So subscribe below and I'll see you on the next video.